So, you've received your art vend and something seems to be wrong with the token mechanism. Let me show you how we can fix that. All you need is a screwdriver and some containers to separate the screws. So we're going to be working on this top level right here, and we're going to be taking the level off, starting with removing these two screws right here. Once you have removed the screws, just lift up and out and put the level off to the side. You'll want to put these two screws in their own separate container as they are different from all of the rest. Now we're going to be removing all the screws but this one right here, and we're going to be saving this middle one for last. If your coin receptor is just a little bit loose, all you might need to do is tighten up these screws, and you might be good to go. We're going to start by removing these two screws right here, and we're going to be placing these separately from all the rest in their own container again. Now you can go ahead and remove all the rest of the screws, leaving that middle one for last. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll also receive this piece that was on the screw. Just set that aside for later as well. Now you can start removing the middle screw slowly and gently, as it's going to fall apart once you remove it completely, and you want to make sure not to lose some of the tiny pieces that are inside of it. Now, your components might be a little bit different, but you want to remember what order the washers and parts were in. Screw head, small washer, coil holder, and then either two washers or this larger one. Now very carefully pull apart both sides of the coin receptor. Now you'll want to make sure you keep track of the screw and this small part right here. We want the screw to fit in that small little cutout and that other part to fit on that little peg. Now make sure your handle is facing right side up, and you can put the coin receptor back on, just like this. Make sure it fits as snugly as you can get it. It won't fit completely flush until we put all the screws back in. Now at this point, it's good to have a partner to help you to hold things together while you're putting those screws back in, but you'll want to start with the middle one. Just like how we took it apart last, we want to put it back on first, and you want to make sure that it's really tight, as tight as you can get it, and that the token receptor is facing horizontal, just like this. And we can go ahead and put in all the rest of the screws. Remembering that in the bottom left corner that we're going to be putting this part back on in the orientation just like this. Now we can put back on those first two screws that we took off, and these ones don't need to be super tight. Just once they start having a little resistance and the coin receptor isn't jiggling around at all, then you're good to go. And before we cover it with the level, it's a good idea to put white lithium grease back on the gears itself so that they continue to be lubricated and continue to work without much friction. You can get it at your local hardware store or online. Now we can put the level back on with those final two screws, and we can test it out with a token. We should be good to go.